In today's video, we're going to go with the much requested how to connect your Copilot Studio agent to your code app. And we're also going to show you how you can consume that agent within the code app. So Josh, take it away.
Yeah, this is quite an interesting one, isn't it? Because we've done lots about code apps. We haven't done so much about Copilot Studio and how the two can interact. And there is an integration between the two, which is great. So we can bring the Copilot Studio conversational agentic abilities into code apps, which is really nice. So you can see here, there's a few prerequisites that we need to be able to actually run Copilot Studio in our code app. The prerequisites being an initialized code app day. This already assumes that you've built a code app and have got that up and ready to plug in your Copilot Studio agent. You've already published a Copilot Studio agent in your environment, and you've got an understanding of how to connect code apps to data or have an AI agent to do that for you as well. When we actually dive into this documentation, what it's asking us to do first is create a connection. Now, we've covered connections in our previous videos, and it's no different. So let's just take a quick look at that. I'm in Power Apps. I've gone to the Connections tab, and I've added a new connection for Copilot Studio. So you can see that it's connected. Now we actually just need the connection reference from this connection. And to get that, you can get that from the URL bar. So if you look at the top here in the URL, there is the connection, and it's just the URL portion after connections. It's just that whole bit there, and that's the bit that you need, minus the details bit. So you can copy and paste that, keep that to one side. So we've added our connection in Power Apps. We then follow the commands here and add the connector. And then you need to publish and get your agent name, which again is fairly standard. So we've gone over to Copilot Studio, and I'm zoomed in a little bit, but if I click on the +7 here, there is an option for channels. I go into channels, and I'm going to go into web app under other channels. That's going to give me this connection string. That's the one that I need to copy. So I'll copy that, and then I'll just add that into my code app, like the documentation here says. And then using however you want, you can either follow this or get your AI agent to run these commands for you to actually get the agent integrated into your code app. But that's basically all you need to do.
People who have seen our previous video on architecture, they will understand that what this code is all about, really, won't they? That you're generating the service file and you're consuming that service file. So there's nothing to be scared of.
Exactly, yeah. It looks scary, but you do need to understand it, but just at a more higher level rather than a really low level what this code is doing. So what does it actually look like in reality? I think it's really good just to showcase some of this. Do you want to see this?
Yeah, it sounds good. So it's
Yeah.
essentially sending an API call to Copilot Studio to get a response from your agent.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
your agent will have been configured however you want it to be.
That's right. And you'll see that the response you see in your code app is the exact same response that you're going to get in Copilot Studio when testing your agent. So it's the same thing. It's just a different interface for it, which is really nice. So we'll show some setup here as well, but this is what we've created. This is a code app that I've created. It's hooked up to our Copilot Studio agent for IT help desk requests. And there's some documentation. I'll run through that in a second to see what it's actually doing, although that's more Copilot specific. But what's nice here is I can say, what is the password reset policy? And it's going to go away and use that Copilot Studio agent API. It's going to call it, and it's going to run, and it's going to give me the policy back to see what that is. So, this isn't smoke and mirrors, and I just want to prove that as well. So we've actually got a SharePoint site set up called IT Help Desk. And within documents, there's a whole bunch of process docs, one being password reset guide. So if we look at this here, you can see it's more or less verbatim what is in this password reset guide, which is really cool. So it's called the Copilot Studio agent, retrieve this document, ran through it, and return the response. So in simple terms, that's it, done and dusted, which is great. And there's some other documents here as well we can run. So it's not just set up for that. We can do software installation policy. Let's give it that and see what it does. What is the software installation policy within my org? And again, it's making that call. It's waiting for the response, and it's going to come back in a wee second. And there we go. So And these are the approved software that can be installed, no request. And also there's a process for requiring OT approval as well for other pieces of software. So if we look at that, we can see it's the same deal. That's really
Very
nice.
cool.
Yeah. So what is it actually doing behind the scenes then? So we go back to the documentation. There's this link here for the Microsoft Copilot Studio connector. And all it's doing is it's calling one of the actions, or well, it's calling a couple of actions in here. And something to be careful of is just around the throttling limits. All of these connectors have them, but just be mindful if you're going to be going near 300 calls in a 60-second renewal period, you're going to run into throttling. So just something to be mindful of. But what it's actually doing is it's actually going to execute the agent using the execute agent action. And then there's also a response as well that it then grabs from that. So you can see there, it's going to execute the agent using all of this information, all this metadata that's being sent to the connector every time. And does that automatically, which is nice. And then it's going to come back with a conversation ID and a response as well. Yeah, really nice. But there's obviously other things you can do with it here as well. But that's just it in simple terms. Yeah, nice to see that kind of integration working and running.
So I can imagine you would maybe have, for the help desk example, you might have your tickets in front of you and then like a side chat where you can ask questions about things, that kind of thing. Basically, you've got tons of possibilities with this. And from what you've demonstrated, it's really quick and easy to get it integrated.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a nice way if you want to do some sort of conversational AI or agentic AI internally without some of the restrictions that you maybe get with, doing things with API keys for external things. It's a great way to do it. And I can see this being useful for a lot of use cases outside of code apps as well, being able to execute these agents. And yeah, it's interesting to see where this goes and what people end up doing with it.